Great day. Welcome to Uncuffed Radio. This is Caprice Smith, your uncuffed living expert. Hey, listen, if you are a woman in business and you have found yourself following all of those amazing recipes for life, but you still have yet to reach that level of success that you thought you'd reach, you're in the right place. If you find yourself projecting one version of yourself to the world, but secretly either crying yourself to sleep at night or being really frustrated and angry all the time behind closed doors, you're in the right place. You are enjoying your moments as they're unfolding, but you are so interested in taking things to the next level that you just can't wait. Guess what? You're in the right place. We have an amazing lineup for you guys today. This is a great day for you to tune in. This is Uncuffed Radio. Sit back, relax, and so stay tuned.
Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. That's the kind of girl I need down with my team.
Hey, this is Coffee Black, coming through to bring you the latest in sports, celebrity, and entertainment news. Here's the sip this week. So, as usual, the Kardashians have dominated celebrity news this week. So, Amber Rose came for Lil Kylie Jenner, who was dating rapper Tiger, who was her bestie's baby daddy. Did you get it? So, the Twitter war with Khloe began. It has to be tough being a Kardashian because it's really hard to read somebody when you got a sister like Kim. All it takes is a few shots about her sex tape and it's game over. So, Kanye missed the memo that this secret and illegal relationship with Kylie and Tiger was not for the public when he confirmed that the two are in love on a radio interview. But here's where he crossed the line. He mentioned Beyonce and Kim actually love and respect one another. And yes, I just threw up saying that out loud. But here it comes again. He said Beyonce is inspired by Kim. Okay, I just can't. I'm just saying. Make sure you check out my site, thesipwithcoffeeblack.com, and tune in next week to The Sip with Coffee Black. No sugar, no cream.
Black coffee, no sugar, no
Hi, my name is Letitia M., owner of May We Help You Network. I want to thank you for joining us and enjoying our host here on MWHY Radio Network. Please visit us online at mwhyradio.com and like us on facebook.com/MWHY Radio. Tune in to learn more about our host and upcoming contests and our TV programming that'll be coming to you soon. MWHY Radio, bringing together business, community, and you.
And welcome back to Uncuffed Radio. It's your girl Caprice Smith here, Mrs. Corporate America. I'm so tickled pink by that. My husband and my sons, when I say it, they get so excited. They say, "Oh, Mom, do you have an appearance today? Or are you speaking today?" And they just have really embraced what it means to be this all-encompassing, well-balanced woman. And because they're young gentlemen, I get so excited. Like, even though my husband and I are raising them together, I like to take all the credit. I think we're raising fine young men. So this is Uncuffed Radio. I'm going to get into some really juicy stuff for you women in business. And the biggest thing I want you to remember is, well, the second biggest thing I want you to remember is do not forget about your family in 2015. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many times women will have this beautiful family at home or a beautiful spouse or supportive, loving boyfriend or whoever, and we neglect them because we're on this drive to be successful and happy. And I'm going to tell you, that is not the way to go. I'm sharing a story with you. I can recall first starting off in business, and because I was a police detective still, meaning rotating shifts, meaning caseloads, court appearances, uniform patrol detail, it didn't really matter to the police department that I was a mom in addition to a student, full-time student, and was launching my own business because I still had a job to do. So I needed to be present all the time, and I needed to be on my A game because if I was not, someone could get very seriously hurt or someone could get away with like a really bad crime. So I got really, really good at multitasking. The thing I'm so against nowadays. I don't believe in multitasking. I believe that you should just focus on that one thing and try to do it as little as possible at any given time, because that ensures that you are present and truly living in your moments as they unfold. And if you want to hear more about how to be present, I want you to go to Women Voices Magazine, and Brenda Kruger, she has allowed me to be one of the contributing authors there. And what you'll find in my Uncuffed section is you'll find monthly articles that's very similar to Uncuffed Radio, but the content is different. So I like to pour because that is my way to give back. But hop on over there because I have a really great article that speaks about really being present in your moment. And one of the priorities I talk about is how to put family first, and what that means, how you don't have to sacrifice your business, your dreams, your success, or your family to get to where you want to go. And that's at Women Voices Magazine. There's a link right from my website, capricesmith.com. And just follow me. I'm just telling you, I have really good information on the Women Voices Magazine article, just like on Uncuffed Radio. So you definitely want to become a huge fan and make the determination to live uncuffed. I have so many great announcements coming up, and my 2014 is going to end with such a bang, guys. It is just going to end the same way it's been unfolding, where one moment after the next, people are like, wow, I didn't know that you were doing that. So one of the things I have done recently, which will help me drive home the point two of keeping your family priority and involved, is I flew a plane. Now, let me tell you, I am the girl that is so afraid of heights, or was, that when crossing the Bay Bridge for the first time, I drove across that bridge like 2 miles an hour. And when I say tractor trailers were too afraid to honk me, because they knew if they did, I'd be flying off the edge of that bridge, they wouldn't even honk me, because that's how deathly afraid of it I was. But it was a huge accomplishment for me to drive across it to a business retreat with a high-end coach at that time that I invested in. Her name is Rebecca Matthias, and she really pushed me. I really appreciate all of her coaching. But I drove across that bridge, and I had my Mr. Teddy Bear in the passenger seat, because I brought Mr. Teddy Bear because I knew I was going to miss my hubby. But I needed him to help me across that bridge. But by the second time I was riding across that bridge, I was a lot less intimidated. And I will not say that I'm no longer concerned when I drive across. It does kind of give me this feeling like, man, won't they just build a wall or something higher to kind of hold us in? I just feel so vulnerable crossing that bridge. But I do it. I do it scared. I do it afraid. And guess what? When I cross it, I'm going and I get to where I want to go. So that's what it meant for me to fly a plane. But that experience would have not been the same if it wasn't for my mother in the back seat. She was my co-pilot and passenger. And what that means is, if you know a little bit about me, you know that my heart just really goes pitter-patter for this woman. I'm so in love with her. She's my favorite girl, because I watched her just raise, pretty much by herself, 3 little brats. And she did her very best to adhere to our needs, to make sure we had everything we really needed. Although there were times when we really didn't, she tried her best. And I watch her now living her life out loud. I'm just so excited and happy for her. But when she got in that plane with me, guys, when I tell you, I resorted back to childhood, like, no, mommy, help me. And she's like, you can do it. And she's pushing me the whole way. And I was turning the plane left and then turning it right and lifting it up, lowering it. I couldn't land, although I tried to, until the instructor was like, no, let me land. But it was the time of my life. And it was all the sweeter because my sons were standing on the ground and landing, and seeing them wave and this look of pride that they had, say, Mom, you did it. It was just something incredible. So you do not want to alienate your family, even though they may not seem as supportive at times. It's just because they don't quite get it. They don't always understand why things, the things that you do, or why it's important for you, or how things are going to unfold. So that doesn't mean push them to the side. No, you want to keep your cheering section around you. The people who will always be in your corner, keep them close, because they're going to give you the strength to keep going and the permission to shut it down when you need to. Although we're grown, we don't need permission. I know you guys are big girls and you're head women in charge and you pretty much work for yourself. You don't need anybody's opinions. Let me just tell you that it is so super sweet when the people that you love the most are there in your corner supporting you and cheering you on and saying, you know what, it doesn't matter. I have your back. When you get that from your mate, your spouse, your girlfriends, your sisters, whoever is in your supportive circle, when you get that level of mutual love and respect, I am telling you that living becomes so sweet. Living uncuffed is so easy when you have a supportive community. So do not alienate them. Keep them around and close. And if you have to go back, go back. You know, you might have to eat a little bit of crow if you've upset somebody or said something you didn't mean to for the sake of your business and your dreams. The other day, we were talking, my husband and I were talking, and my 13-year-old he came in the room, and he is just such a smart kid. I'll tell him all the time he's going to be an attorney. But he come in the room, and he interjected in our conversation. He wasn't supposed to be listening anyway. I'm not even sure what we were talking about. And he goes, but Dad, she's following her dreams. And he spoke it in my voice. So what it did to us, we kind of chuckled and laughed, but they're listening and they're watching. So even though they don't always say great job, kudos, or may not understand where you're going with things, just keep at it and keep them involved, because they own you. Like, they own what you do. They don't own you, but they take ownership of the things that you're trying to achieve, and they are getting it. They're watching you, and then before long, they're going to give the words back to you that you give to them. My 10-year-old, he constantly says, Mom, there are two types of people in the world, and I always say this to him. There are two types of people in the world, honey. There are people that really apply themselves and they're successful, and then there are the ones that don't. So which one are you? That's my question. So his it's so funny when he gives it back to me, because it's like, yeah, okay, thanks. I need to hear that, because he always does it at a time when I need to hear it the most. So if you are listening today and you need to hear it, I'm going to say it. There are two types of people in this world. The kind that goes after their dreams, they apply themselves, they work diligently. I don't say hard, because I don't think things should always have to be hard, but they work diligently and they get it. And then there are others, the ones that say, I wish I could have, would have, should have, maybe next time. So you make the decision as to which person you're going to be. Are you going to be that successful person and go and follow your dreams, or are you going to be the other? You're listening to Uncuffed Radio, and things are only going to get better. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And you want to stay tuned, because I am going to give you guys a reward, because it's a giving season. It's Thanksgiving. All have reasons to be thankful. But I'm going to give you guys an award that you want to stay tuned for, because I told you I flew a plane. I'm going to announce to you how you can do some things that's going to help you live uncuffed, but I'm going to tell you how to do it with a discount. I will be right back, so stay tuned. This is Uncuffed Radio.
Hi, I'm Rita Ricks, host of Spirit Journeys Radio, and I'm pleased to announce that discussions in February will focus on your purpose. Many of my clients often ask me questions like, what is my purpose? How do I find it? How will I recognize it? These are certainly appropriate questions to ask when you feel as though something is missing in your life. My role as life coach is to help you to begin to identify what your true purpose is and what gifts you already have to effectively live your purpose. I have some wonderful guests willing to share how they view their purpose and what purpose means to each of them. You will benefit greatly from hearing them. So join me every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can dial 646-652-2512 to listen and chat. I look forward to spending February with you. And I'm Rita, listening to your spirit.
And welcome back. This is Caprice Smith, your uncuffed living expert. And as promised, I told you guys I had a surprise for you because this is the giving season. I'm in a giving mood. You're supposed to give back. You guys know the routine. So imagine yourself boarding the plane and there are only probably enough space for maybe 8 people to be on this plane. So I'm not talking about a jet. But imagine yourself as the pilot. Flying the plane, soaring through the wind, no stoplights, nothing but air holding you up there, and dynamics and all of this other stuff and all these other scientific laws that keep you from falling flat. I never quite understood that part, but when I tell you it's a feeling like none other, it is the best feeling in the world. I want to become a pilot now. You know how it is. You do things once and now you feel like you're the master of it, or at least it feeds your drive to want to keep doing it. That's what it was for me. So what I've decided to do is I have opened it up where I'm going to have a day of uncuffing. I'm calling it Uncuffed Elevation. So I am inviting you guys, the listeners, the followers, the people who make me successful. I'm inviting you guys to go back with me. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to be the pilot. Get out of the passenger seat and you take the wheel. I want to watch you fly. It is your turn to fly. And what will happen is you will go out with a certified instructor. You actually earn points toward becoming a pilot. It's a real deal. But outside of that, you get to get up close in person with me at a powwow an hour before. We have only 10 spaces. We started off with 10 spaces and there are only 5 left. I didn't expect things to go off so quickly or as well as they have. I'm very grateful that they have. But what I want you guys to think about is joining me. I want you to join me. Now, the cost for this day, it's on December the 3rd. You're going to probably have to take off from work. But the cost of this day is $197. But because you guys have been loyal listeners, I'd like to reward you. And if you email me at capricesmith.com or go to capricesmith.com and register using the code MWHY for May We Help You Radio. Use the code MWHY. I'm going to give you guys 20% off of the total package. And that means you fly cheaper than everyone else. How cool is that? Now, it is only until midnight. So if you are listening, I'm sorry, but it's midnight on November the 22nd. So I can't keep the offer out much longer than that because I am so serious and excited about doing this is that I know if you are on board with me, you won't spend a lot of time talking yourself out of it. You're going to push that register button and you're going to join me. You're going to join me at Uncuffed Elevation. So let's get into the third point. The third thing that you have to do, the third key, the third thing I want you to focus on as we go into 2015. It's coming no matter what. You can't stop it. Don't even try. But what I want you to do is don't be afraid of it. What everyone does is they start a new gym membership and they, lock themselves into all these great deals. And that's great. But if it's something you've done year after year after year and you have yet to stick to it, do me a favor and try something different this year. What I'd like for you to do is instead of creating a vision board, is create an affirmation statement specifically for your business. And when you create an affirmation statement specifically for your business, I want you to put in all the things that you want in your business in 2015. Don't focus on what didn't happen in 2014. Don't say, if this doesn't happen, then I want this. Claim your brilliance, claim your abundance, claim it all, and put it out into the universe. Tell it exactly what you want. Tell God how to bless you, or ask God how to bless you. But be very specific. So that just simply means start your affirmation statement for your business. We're going to start putting things, we're creating our own success, like I like to call it. And trust me, everyone else is focused on their stuff. They're not worried about your stuff. And they may say, oh, that's great. I want to support you. But The proof is in the pudding. And what that means is until you have money on the table or you've booked a client, you can't call it business. You just have exposed yourself to some supportive people. So if the thing you're desiring is more customers, put that in your affirmation statement. If the thing you're desiring are more opportunities, put that in your affirmation statement. If the thing you're desiring is some downtime, put that in your affirmation statement, specifically for your business. Now, there's a reason why I'm asking you to keep the life and the personal part out of it at this point, because I want you guys to give your business the respect that it deserves and don't cheat your business. Start to think of your business as a separate entity, although you will be personally engrossed in it and it will have every part of your signature stamped on it. Try to give it a level of separate respect and treat it as a separate thing that you have to give attention, because when we keep it as the thing that's solely a part of us, as the thing that we don't necessarily have to do, or we work for ourselves so we don't have to send that newsletter, or we don't have to meet these goals or these deadlines, it starts to look a lot less like business and more like a hobby. No one's going to be more serious about your business than you. So the best way to do that is to kind of treat it as a separate entity. So build your affirmation statement in 2015, and then you're spelling out all the things that you want. Don't put in there anything that you don't want. If it's something that you know you're still struggling with, it could be sticking to your goals, or it could be you don't want to be late for a meeting, that kind of thing. Then make it positive. Don't make it negative. Don't focus on the negative, because it's all about positivity in 2015. Because guess what? While you're hemming and hawing and deciding if you're going to move forward, other people are putting their action plays in motion. They are investing in their businesses and they're seeing the growth. They're seeing the differences. I'm very proud that my girl Quinn Kanye, she started a speakers bureau in Baltimore, and it's a national organization. I'm so proud that she's the first one. She's the director of it. So guess what? If you want to do it, go do it. I bet when she sat down in 2014 and she mapped out her goals, she probably never even saw that for herself. But huge things can happen when you take your life and your business serious enough to make it happen. I went to Florida, competed, and brought home the crown. To God be the glory. But he couldn't bless me if I didn't take that first step. So sometimes to get your blessings, you have got to take that first step for other people to even help you, to even support you. Sometimes people want to help you, but you're not specific enough. And what I want you guys to do in your affirmation statements, I want you to get so specific that there's no room for interpretation or a misinterpretation at this point. I want you guys to become very, almost not obsessive, but selfish. Be a little more selfish about how you ask for things and what you want. Be very crystal clear, very to the point, very, don't shy away from the cost. If you set a cost, you have like purses or shoes and they cost a certain amount, and it comes to the asking time where you're asking for the amount of your shoe, don't shrink back. Don't shy away from it because you think it's too expensive. You don't think that the person will see the value and want to pay for it. Don't shrink back. Tell them the price, and if it's not for them, they won't accept it. And if it is for them, they will. If they don't accept it, God bless them. It just meant it wasn't for them. Stop associating our own personal issues and putting the price tag on what someone else will pay. You don't know what someone else will pay or what value they see in you. But one thing you must do is you must become the expert at selling yourself and pitching the things that you believe have value. So if you're a jewelry maker, you don't want to go around, and that's your business, you don't want to go around giving away jewelry because you want to help others. That's not how you help others. If you want to help others, you volunteer somewhere. You volunteer to, a soup kitchen, or go read to kids at school. You don't volunteer or so-called help people by giving away your jewelry, because that's not how your business will grow. So we're going to get into giving back and showing community support in a minute. But for now, I just want to hone in the point. The third thing that you must do to finish 2014 big and just take things up a notch in 2015. I want you guys to stop reaching for the stars. Stop reaching for the stars and being around like-minded individuals. I want you to surpass the stars. Reach for galaxies. Hang around the aerodynamic leaders, the Oprahs, the people who are unreachable and untouchable. Reach out, make it happen, because when you reach that level where you feel confident enough to connect with people who are so far ahead of you, you will no doubt step your game up. So that's the path that I'm on, and I want you guys to go with me. And this is Uncuffed Radio, and I know I'm giving you some great nuggets today, but guess what? I do every Saturday. That's how we do at May We Help You Radio. There are a lot of great shows on this network. Ask a Nurse with Delana Watkins. She's awesome. She actually does a commercial in a special way. I won't spill the beans for her, but I want you guys to just get more familiar with the networks that we have, or the radio shows that we have here. The Butterfly Queen. I love her sexy, sultry radio. Get familiar, and we have an app. You can download the app. I download it. I share this all the time. I listen to it while I'm cleaning, doing my chores. It's positive radio. You don't have to worry about profanity and shying away because there's such a bad topic that you don't want to talk about it or it makes you blush. That's not what we're about at May We Help You Radio. We're all about the positiveness, and we are on to some great, great things. So when we come back, we have some more announcements we're going to share for you guys and more rewards. This is Uncuffed Radio. I am Capri Smith, the Uncuffed Living Expert, and we'll be right back.
This message is from the desk of Samika Melton, the teen self-esteem strategist and the founder of Rising Above Expectations Youth Services Incorporated, commonly known as RAY. Rising Above Expectations Youth Services Incorporated is a mentoring and leadership organization serving youth 8 to 18 from diverse backgrounds, with an urgent focus on middle school and high school girls. Our foundation is built on integrity, purpose, perseverance, and love. We teach youth to live life rising above expectations through self-esteem building, healthy relationship education, self-harm prevention education, and anti-bullying prevention and intervention services. In order to continue our mission, we need your help. Rising Above Expectations Youth Services Incorporated is searching for sponsors, volunteers, and partnerships to build stronger communities through the youth and families we serve. Please contact us directly at 202-421-1945. or email us at info@raeyouth.org. And please take a moment to visit our website at www.risingaboveexpectations.org. And in the meantime, I'll ask you to live life rising above expectations.
And welcome back to Uncuffed Radio. This is your host, Capri Smith, the Uncuffed Living Expert. And today I'm so over the top excited, not just because it's a new year and we are pushing forward, but because I have the awesome Lennis Woods Mullins on the line. And just to give you a little bit about her, she is our mind, body, and spirit wellness consultant. Now, how many of us need someone like that in our life? I know I surely do. But above that, she is a publisher and an editor, and she produces her own talk show. So we're so excited to have her, and in a few minutes we'll hear directly from her. But, you know, this is Uncuffed Radio, so it's not just about celebrating our highs. We really want to hear from some of the life-changing moments that we've experienced. Linda, so when we put you on, we want you to get right into that. So welcome.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Caprice. It's great to be on the show and great to be able to share and get a chance to talk with like minds. Love that.
Yes. 2015 is our year, I'm hearing.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it. I tell you, I am just definitely ready to leave 2014 behind and keep pressing forward to 2015. I'm so excited. It's already started out really great.
Let's do it. So now I want to talk first about your Wellness Women 40 and Beyond magazine. Now, you have such an awesome, if you go to the website, I feel like, I'm laying on the beach and I'm just kind of gone to a different place. It's so relaxing. So kudos for that. But, yeah, absolutely. I want you to tell us in your own words, what is this magazine about? Who is it for?
Well, Wellness Women 40 and Beyond, same different background, same journey is what the tag is really for women over 40 who are searching for information on how they can embark on a journey of wellness, whether it's for their mind, their body, their spirit. They're looking for alternative ways to be well, alternative ways to lose weight, alternative ways to get emotionally well, alternative ways perhaps to beat chronic disease, relationships, all kinds of things that feed into our wellness. And I wanted women to be able to feel like when they read this magazine, it's not just eye candy, even though I really do think the magazine is beautiful. The graphic artist does a great job. But really there's some real meat and potatoes information that you can use right away to begin to embark on a different journey maybe than what you've been on before. Usually after 40, women begin to start thinking about what they want to do with the rest of their lives. They begin to start, assessing where they are and what kind of changes they want to make, what kind of dreams they want to pursue. It's a very interesting time. That was 17 years ago for me, but I remember very clearly. I had 4 daughters, and at the age of 40, they were becoming, I think they were they teenagers yet? They weren't teenagers quite yet, but they were on their way. By the time I was 50, they were all teenagers in college and everything else, but they were on their way. They were on their own little journey, and they began to meet me less. And I began to have more time on my hands, at least more time to think and ponder as I'm carting them from activity to activity in the minivan back in the day, what it was I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And that's why I thought when I decided to do this magazine that I definitely wanted to gear it more towards women over 40 because that's a time when we really go through a lot of introspection, a time when our bodies begin to change, sometimes our relationships begin to change, our parents begin to get older, we begin that whole empty nest syndrome. It's a time of transition, and I want to be able to give information to women to help it be a positive experience in terms of their transition.
I love it. Now, something magical does happen at 40, I'm being told, because I'm only 27, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that magical number. But in all seriousness, I totally agree. It is just a time of transitioning and really coming into your ownness. So I love that magical number. Your magazine, you've been doing this for a while. You have so many editions and so many different articles. What are some of the great things that you hear about your magazine?
Well, I think one of the first things I hear about the magazine is how beautiful it is, because it is. Visually, it's very beautiful. Not because we have a bunch of beautiful models in there. It is not a fashion magazine, and I wouldn't even say it's a lifestyle magazine. It is definitely a magazine that has to do with wellness. And the other thing I hear a lot about is just the content, how much value add it is. And in some of the magazines, I would say the majority of them, they're almost like reference books because there's a lot of information in there, a lot of good articles, and they're written by women who are experts in their field of wellness. So if you want to find out about aromatherapy, if there's an article written about aromatherapy, it's written by someone who is an aromatherapist. Not someone who just sells aromatherapy oils, but they are a certified aromatherapist. If you are wanting to find out more about hormone balancing and how to do that in a holistic way, it'll be written by a naturopath or a holistic practitioner who works with hormones and who works with women who are wanting to have an alternative way to deal with, balancing their hormones. So everybody in there that writes for the magazine is actually doing that particular practice with real-life people. It's not just conceptual. It's not just their opinion. It's what they have actually experienced and done with their patients and with their clients. So that is kind of different. And the other thing is that it's very readable. It's very real. It's very spiritual. It's a faith-based publication, so we definitely talk about, God. I happen to be Christian, So there are Christians that write for the publication, but there are other people who, I don't know what their faith may be. That's not the prerequisite that they be Christians to write for the publication. But, as I said, like minds attract like minds. As it turns out, the majority of the women who write for the publication are Christians. It's just that they have decided to use alternative methods, all the things that God has placed on our earth, to help facilitate the healing process and to help facilitate a lifestyle of wellness. And I think that's really neat. Like, for instance, we have a lady who works with energy modalities, and she is an energy healer, but she's also a scientist, and she happens to be a Christian. We have another lady who is a Christian who deals with meditation and mindfulness, and she meditates on God's Word, and she shows you how to do that 3 times a day, 3 minutes a day, and she talks about how that changed her life and turned her around from being addicted to painkillers and alcohol. And still yet there's another article in the publication called Wellness Woman. And usually I interview 3 to 4, maybe sometimes more than that, women who I feel exemplify the idea of what a wellness woman is. And a wellness woman is not necessarily someone who's got it all together all the time. It's usually someone who has gone through some kind of trial, who has gone through some kind of trauma or test in their lives, and they came out of it not just whole, but they came out of it with a key testimony and key learnings that they're sharing with women and that have changed their lives forever, and many times took them into a field of being a wellness practitioner or doing something with coaching women or something like that. And their stories are pretty powerful, and I feel that women can relate to a lot of what they talk about. And it's very inspirational. I have one lady who has MS and epilepsy. She just got through doing skydiving not too long ago, and she was nominated for a Nobel Prize for her poetry. And she's struggled with epilepsy since birth, and just recently, within the last 15 years, got MS. Still, and yet she is thriving. She's moving forward with her life. She's doing some fantastic things. You would never know to look at her that she had these challenges because she's absolutely beautiful. But she's just made up her mind that while these are part of her challenges, this is also her life, and that God must have presented her with these things for a reason. And so she thrives in spite of it. And I think those kinds of stories are very inspirational as well.
I love it. And I know this magazine, it falls under your larger umbrella of praise works, and I love that you're a Christian. I love that. And I don't want to breeze over that because I think in our effort to be more authentic, people are standing up and saying, yeah, this is what I believe in, and not really being overly concerned about who's offended by it. I know I personally have experienced that. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to grow into that because I was kind of afraid about some of my Christian followers being concerned that I do yoga. And then I decided, you know what? Yoga is nothing but the movement of the body and learning to become one with that spirit that God has placed within you, learning how to focus. Learning how to really commune with God in a different way through movement. And if people do their research, they'll find out that yoga is not a religion. You don't have to empty your mind. If anything, you focus your mind on the things of God, on the things that God created within you. And once again, it's one of those modalities that all depends on how you use it. But it is really not only a spiritual movement thing, but it's also very good for the body and the organs and the blood flow and all of that. And so I decided that even though I was Christian, and there are some Christians who are just totally against yoga, that I was definitely going to have articles about yoga. I was going to write about yoga myself, interview people who do yoga, because I really do believe that yoga can enhance the quality of your life from a wellness perspective in terms of your overall body workings, but also from a spiritual perspective and mind, too. It covers all those modalities. And so, I just decided that I would just move forward in that. And did I lose some people? Perhaps, but I think I gained just as many. And the other thing is I really want to try to live a Christ-like life, and I want my life to be exemplary in such a way that, yes, I'm a Christian, but I'm one who's approachable. I want people, whether they're Christian or not, to feel like they can talk with me. And maybe the things they read in my magazine will make them think, maybe I should take a look at this Christianity thing. Maybe I should read the Bible or read the Scripture. And I have Scripture quoted throughout my magazine and on my website because that is my belief system. But it's not one that I am trying to shove down anybody's throat. And I'm certainly not going to sit in judgment of anyone if they don't have that belief system, because I know that Christ did not do that. You know,
Right.
he talked to everyone, and so that's what I do, and I'm glad that I do that. I feel like I've had some wonderful experiences as a result of being able to find women who happen to have like minds, like you.
I love it. Love, love, love. It is amazing how you connect almost on a spiritual level, and there's no denying it. So now I'll share a funny story with you. So I met a young lady, and when we had our first conversation, it was on the brinks of, we were both involved in a conference, and the conference ended up not going forward. And when we met or had a conversation for the first time, it wasn't that it was a bad conversation, but it wasn't like, we were both very leery based on how the conference kind of unfolded negatively. Mm-hmm. And so we reconnected through another source several months later, and we both laughed about it because it was at that moment we were kind of honest about, I thought it was you. So I'll bring that in to say, it's no denying when you are supposed to be connected with, you know, some people call it your tribe or your family, your whoever, your sister. It's just no denying it. So under your praise work umbrella, I'm looking at your story a little bit, and you talk about some of your own personal struggles. Now, can you share some of that with us?
Oh, absolutely. I always do if asked, because it's really the reason why PraiseWorks was created, because I was, myself, as I mentioned before, many times people who end up getting into the wellness genre get into it because of some challenge or some issue they had in their own lives, and they chose to find a way to holistically, heal themselves or to holistically move past whatever that trauma was or that event was. For me, I had an anxiety disorder, and I had developed it over years, and I found out many years later after I opened my business that it really came from a traumatic event in my life. Long story short, my mother was hit by a fire truck on her way to work. She had the green, and they had the red. They were responding to a smoke alarm, and they just drove right through her. And the thing that was so shocking about it was that I had just seen her. I was on maternity leave. I had a 5-week-old baby with me at the time. I was visiting my office to show them the baby, and this is before cell phones. This was in 1989. My dad called me and, told me that my mom was in an accident and to go home to the family house and to stay there to wait for more information. So I did, and I realized that I left my, Franklin organizer. That was a big deal back then. I left my Franklin organizer in my office. I didn't have any numbers. I felt like somebody should come and wait for me because I was getting the sense that something wasn't right. So I called my mom's office. My mom was an administrator with the school district, and she had a secretary, and I called the secretary, and I asked her, could she go to Mom's Rolodex, these were the Rolodex days, and could she just look up for my friends' numbers, because I know my mom had all my best friends' numbers in there. And so she says to me, oh, Lennis, we are so sorry. We loved your mother. And I said, you mean she's gone?
Oh, my God.
And she said, oh, you didn't know? Then she drops the phone, and she's crying. And then I could hear the crying in the background. I mean, like boo-hooing. And, I'm there looking at my baby in her infant chair, and I'm just standing there on the phone, and I'm like, oh, my God, what can I do? What can I do? And therein began my struggle to try to control the outcome no matter what, to never, ever be surprised, to control everything, to never let anything happen ever again in my life that was a surprise. Even if that meant not telling the truth, even if that meant, hiding my realities, I was going to be in control no matter what. And, of course, that's crazy. You can't be in control of everything. And we're in control of nothing. We're in control of nothing. But for 15 years, that's how I lived. And over time, as my emotional closet began to get fuller and fuller and fuller, when I woke up in the morning, I would have this feeling like I was going straight downhill on a roller coaster with my arms up with no restraint. It was like a terrifying feeling. And the way I would offset that feeling, my husband would bring me a cup of coffee in bed in the morning, and that caffeine would do something, the neurotransmitters, it would impact it in such a way where at least that feeling would go away. And, that's how I lived, and that's how I functioned until one day my emotional closet just burst open, and I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't stop crying. I ended up going in the hospital, and they said, Linus, you got to take some time off. You're exhausted. They told me they wanted me to go to a respite. So I went, and it was at that respite that I realized that I needed to make some kind of change in my life. And that's when I left corporate America at the age of 51. And after about 7 or 8 months of introspection, I decided I wasn't going back, and PraiseWorks was born. And originally, PraiseWorks was going to be a dance studio because I was going to teach women how to dance and how to do praise dance for women over 40. I am a trained classical ballet dancer. I studied all throughout, elementary, junior high, high school, college, a dance minor in college. I performed professionally. So that's what I was going to do. But I quickly found out that women needed so much more than that. And after the first year, that's when PraiseWorks Health and Wellness was born. Went back to school, got the certifications that I needed around wellness coaching, and in the meantime, got the right diagnosis. It wasn't just anxiety that I had. I was suffering from post-traumatic stress. Wow. And subconsciously every morning, I would replay the innermost feelings of what it felt like to get that news unexpectedly. So every time I would open my eyes in the morning, there would be that fear that I was going to get that kind of news again. I no longer have those symptoms. I no longer worry. I don't have the anxiety that I used to have, and the reason is because over time, taking the advice of many holistic practitioners and things that worked for me, I created a program, a coaching program for women to help them minimize the impact that stress can have on your bodies, because if you do not do the things you need to do to minimize that impact, you can end up much worse than I did. I was lucky. I did not have the physical issues that you can have, chronic disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attack, stroke, obesity. I didn't have that, but I did have the emotional ones, which sometimes can be just as serious because it's just a matter of time before that turns into, a physical transformation that's not good. So what I do is I work with women with their diets, with their exercise, with their spirituality, and with connecting that mind-body-spirit connection in a health, so that they can survive the rigors of stress. Because it's my opinion that stress, for whatever reason, whether it's real or implied, it's there and it's not going to go away. So therefore, we have to learn how to live our lives in such a way that we're fortifying our mind, our bodies, and spirits against what stress can do if we don't take care of ourselves. And I used all the things that I learned in that 4-year period of time. As I was building PraiseWorks, I was also healing myself. Physician, heal thyself. That's what I was doing. And I came up with this program that I know works. Because it hadn't just worked for me, it's worked for hundreds of women since that time. But basically, that's my story. I mean, out of a tragedy came something that I hope, that I pray will be a blessing to millions of women. My goal is to really learn from women how to continue to learn how to love myself and how to grow. And as I learn, to share those learnings with women. And to show them how precious they truly are and how important it is for them to know that.
Now, and your experiences, because you've worked with so many different, women and different men too, or just mainly women?
I've always worked with women, but funny that you should mention that, because I just got off the call where I'm going to be creating a new branding that has to do with men, and I'm going to have 2 male partners. And we were just talking about this whole mind, body, spirit thing and how important it is for men to understand why that continuity has to be there for them too, for so many reasons, because they go through their own midlife crisis, their own menopause. I mean, it is called men, and when they're going to that 40, 50, 60 thing, they are men on pause in terms of the transition of their life. When am I going to go next? What am I going to do next? How am I going to do it? I mean, they're constantly worrying about that in terms of their virility, in terms of their ability to provide, in terms of being a father, grandfather, taking care of parents. They have the same kind of issues that women have, but they deal with it in a different way. And society basically tells them all the time, you don't have that, you don't have that. But they do. And they have their own unwellness as a result of being denied by society in general, that they're in pain.
Right.
And of course, T.D. Jakes talks about that in his famous video and book, Emotions. I mean, it's powerful when you just hear, when he tells them to cry out, and you hear the pain. And the program that we're going to be designing is to help men not just come in contact with that, but to give them some tools to be healthy and to be well, so they can be better husbands, better fathers, better sons, brothers, better people.
I totally agree with everything you're saying. And the point of the question was, it blows my mind to see how many people almost have to get to the corner of the valley, to the lowest point, and then you see what you're working with, and you see how strong you are. And really your purpose shows up for you. And I think that's exactly what you're saying. And I totally agree, no matter how much I market to women, because that's who I feel drawn to connect with, the men show up. And they show up almost in a form of desperation, like, hey, I want to be helped too.
Right, exactly. I mean, so many of these programs are designed for women and more. And I guess I focus on women because that's what I was comfortable with and because I was working on me. And it's not that I have it all together, because I don't. I am still working on me. Every morning I ask the Holy Spirit, please direct me into what it is that I am to do, or how it is you want me to do it. Sometimes I have to pause in the middle of the day and say, okay, what next? Because there's so much and I'm not sure which way to go. And there's other times when I just feel overwhelmed. So, I mean, we all are on that journey. And my goal is to provide women and now hopefully men those tips, tools, and techniques, that I discover that have helped me and that have helped others along that journey, because it is a journey. But I do believe that God has left things for us here on this earth and within us. He has placed within us the things to maneuver the journey in such a way where we will have success, where we will definitely fulfill Jeremiah 29:11, which is to have an abundant life and to have a joyful life.
Wow, love it. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back. And when we come back, we're going to hear from minutes about some of your specific methods that you use and things you've come across in ways that you help your clients. I see a lot of goodies on your website, so I want you to share that with our audience, and also share with them, if you don't mind at this moment, how they can connect with you, and then we'll come right back from a break. So go ahead and tell them how to connect with you now.
Sure. They can go to my website at praiseworks.biz. That's one word, PRAISEWORKS.biz.
Awesome. So this is Uncuffed Radio, and please stay tuned. We will be right back.
To all of my female entrepreneurs, it's time to expand your region and business profits. Are you networking in the same locale and viewing the same guest list over and over? Do you find your colleagues are referring new business and its clients that you already have in your portfolio? Are you industry stagnant? And are your social groups and events filled with the same people? If you answer yes to just one of these questions, it's time to expand internationally. You are cordially invited to petition for attendance to an all-female exclusive and private event featuring the Power of 52 Women, the East Coast International Business Symposium, hosted by rockstar entrepreneur and international business consultant Erica A. Murray and multimedia distributor and expert Letitia M., and moderator Ms. Joan Henry of the Women's Entrepreneur Expo, beginning February 28, 2015 in Baltimore, Maryland, March 28th in New York, April 18th in Washington, D.C., May the 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia, June the 20th in Boston, Massachusetts, and September, Africa. If you are serious about your business, don't miss this event. Go to www.thepowerof52women.com for more information. Once again, go to www.thepowerof52women.com and register today. This is an event you don't want to miss.
If you're the parent of a child with behavioral challenges that has been suspended, expelled, or just not able to make it in a traditional school setting, there is an alternative. Call the Metropolitan Day School today. Licensed and accredited grades K through 12. Call 804-321-2595. Financial assistance and after-school programs are available. Let's turn this school year around right now at the Metropolitan Day School, where Eagles soar. Call Ms. Thomas today. 804-321-2595.
Welcome back to Uncuffed Radio. This is Caprice Smith. You are Uncuffed Living Expert, and I am lucky enough to be here today speaking with the awesome Linus of Praise Works. and she's given us some goodies about how we can get our minds and our bodies right, our souls right, and just really do what we need to do. We're focusing on our mind, body, and spirit today. Now, I have a question for you. I want to hear more about that de-stress the mess.
Okay. Well, De-Stress the Mess is a holistic stress reduction program. And the reason why it's holistic is that we really go back to the basics, go back to all the things that God has placed on this earth for us to fortify our bodies and our minds and spirits against stress. So we talk about the things that we eat. We talk about the kind of movement that we do. We talk about the prayer and meditation. We even talk about breathing and how that impacts things, the kind of supplements you should take, the kind of other alternative holistic methods like, for instance, aromatherapy or reflexology or energy healing that you can do to help you manage the impact of stress on your body. And we have different coaching programs. Probably my favorite one on Distress and Mess. We have like four or five different ones, and they're survival kits. And it's something that you can do on your own and every day in your email. You get some information on, things that you can do to help distress your mess, to help you stay well, or in some cases get well when you're going through stressful times or when you're just going through life. We also, the survival kits, we break them down on things involving weight loss, work-life balance, the hormones and menopause, and what's the other one? I'm missing one. Oh, I guess there's just three. Yeah, just three. The work-life balance, hormones, and weight loss. And it can be very impactful. And I do talk with you twice during that program. And then, of course, we have more in-depth programs, the one-on-one programs. But the De-Stress and Net Survival Kits are pretty affordable and easy to do. And usually what happens is when somebody goes through one of those, there's so much information that I give you in a short period of time that they want to continue on as a coaching client, because it really does help. But people say, well, why do I need a coach? I can do this myself, or I can do it with my girlfriends. And you could. All these things you could do yourself. But let's think about that. When it comes to like an exercise program, I mean, we all talk about we're going to, get fit, we're going to work out, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And it starts out really good maybe the first week or two, but going into that third week, you don't do it one day, you don't do it 2 days. Next thing you know, by the fourth week, you're not doing it at all. A coach keeps you motivated, keeps your jets charged, and they're there for you to kind of give you feedback and someone for you to bounce things off of on to vent. We're impartial. We're not like involved in your day-to-day life. So it's someone for you to talk to help maneuver some of those things that come up that keep you from achieving your goal of, adding that new lifestyle into your life or getting rid of that old habit or adding that new routine. We all could benefit from someone to coach us. And I know, like you said, well, my girlfriend can do that. And yeah, your girlfriend probably could too, but you know what? She's got her life going on too. Sometimes she's got stuff going on too, yeah. So sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. And so that's why it's nice to maybe start off with a program like this and then maybe, usually it takes 21 days for a habit to come into place. But it takes a good 60 to 90 days to really feel like, okay, this is part of my life. This is what I'm doing all the time. And that's why we have other coaching programs to help people really make it an integral part of their life and to mold it into something that is personal just for them.
Right. I totally agree. And when I first started working with my coach, she was a very high-end coach. So I remember secretly speaking to her, especially when it came time to the payment, because I had never experienced a coach on that level. And I also I was surrounded by people who were open to the idea of investing in yourself on that level. But what I learned in working with her is that it was transformational, and it was something I wish I had done a lot sooner. So now tell the Uncuffed listeners, because we have such amazing guests every week come on, and they have such great things to offer, and you included, but tell them who specifically you love to help and who should be running to the computer to call you right now or send you a message or an email.
Well, I really do love working with women over 40. I really do, especially women who have gone through some kind of significant change in their life, and they're trying to manage that change while still trying to improve upon themselves. And that change may not be something that they actually facilitated, but maybe they've inherited that change. Divorce, empty nest syndrome, parents getting elderly and having to care for them, a loss of a job, a loss of a home, relationship. There's all kinds of things that can happen after 40 as just a part of the cycle of life. And meanwhile, you're also feeling the need just to make some changes from a health perspective or a spiritual perspective. I love working with women like that, and I love the feedback that I get when those changes, they begin to start feeling changes. And interestingly enough, when you work with me, after that first couple of calls or after that first week, you will feel some changes, but you'll even feel more so the need to make the change, because it's like an aha moment. You're like, wow, I kind of knew this, but I've never really done it. So I love working with women like that who are ready to make a change and just need some help in facilitating it so that it can stick, and it just makes them even more successful during their transition.
Love it. Women over 40 ready to make a change. So basically, don't come to you with any shucking and jiving. You mean business, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can take you kicking and screaming to drink that water, but we all know about that whole horse in the water thing. It doesn't work. You gotta want to do it. You gotta want to make that change. And I'm not a hard sell person. I believe that God sends women to me for a purpose, and it's not about trying to close them and make them do it. I believe they're there because they already know they need help. It's just that sometimes they need a little push. I mean, and I know I'm the same way. I sometimes I just need like that little fingernail in my back, just a little tick, Right. Okay, I'm going to do it, And then once you do it, you're like, wow, why didn't I do this earlier? But it's okay. It's all good. You didn't do it earlier because it just wasn't for you at that time. So when you come to me, I know that it's for you, and I think that the results will be fantastic.
Exactly right. So this is Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond e-magazine and Praise Works founder, Linus. So give us some inside dirty secrets that the world doesn't know about you. We love to get the goodies here on Uncuffed Radio.
Inside dirty secrets that the world doesn't know about me. I am a binge Hulu watcher. I've become a binge Hulu watcher. Right now I'm in the middle of Good Wife series, but I am a binge watcher. And it's funny because I normally don't watch television. Right. I have Hulu on my phone. I have 4 daughters. And over the holidays, we were all visiting together, and they were like, Mom, put the phone down. And it wasn't because I was talking on the phone. It was because I was watching that little tiny screen.
But, of course, they thought you were working, right? No, honey, I'm working.
They knew better. They knew. They did it. Mom, get off the phone.
That is so incredibly funny. My kids, they call me out all the time. No, really, honey, I'm building a legacy. I'm paying for your college. I'll come up with some really good excuses.
Oh, yeah, they're always on my case about working too much, but it doesn't feel like work. It's my passion, and the minute it starts to feel like work, I have to kind of reevaluate, okay, is this what I'm really supposed to be doing? Because it is my passion, and when you're pursuing your passion, it doesn't feel like work. It really doesn't. But I do have one other dirty secret I wanted to share with you.
I love it.
This is my dirty secret, and my husband complains about it all the time. My children just roll their eyes, but I like to dance to the elevator music and to the music in the grocery store.
Don't you tell me you're just like me. You don't want on the elevator shaking.
I like to do that. I mean, when something comes on from, usually it's like the 70s or the 80s, whatever, but something comes on, I'm like, oh, I like that song. I just do my own little shuffle thing, and then all of a sudden I look around and whoever I'm with is usually my family. They're like, Mom, please. But I'm like, hey, you only live once. I mean, and most people, they just kind of smile and nod their head, probably wondering, what place I escaped from. But that's okay. I mean, it's fun. I like doing it. My family hates it, but I love it, and I do. I just want to do.
I love it. Well, thank you for being so transparent. I'm that girl that I'm on the elevator and I'm kicking and I'm dancing, I'm shaking the hair, and then I think, oh God, what if they have cameras on the elevator?
Oh well, they just got a great new show.
Too funny. This is Uncuffed Radio, found only on the May We Help You Radio Network, and we have lots of goodies and announcements. You've been listening to Praise Works founder and Wellness for Women. I have to always slow down and say it. Help me out. You say it.
Wellness for Women Over 40?
Yes, Wellness for Women Over 40. So definitely go ahead and visit the site at praiseworks.biz. CIZ. And please stay tuned. Linus, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is delightful, and just really a blessing to know you, Caprice. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to us doing so much more together. And thank you for stopping by. Listeners, stay tuned. We're going to come back with some exciting news and announcements and goodies and everything else that we always have for you here. So please stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Sherelle of Fit and Flow Yoga Radio. Wake up with me every Friday at 6 a.m. and have a wonderful yoga experience. We'll explore meditation and discuss how various yoga postures can help relieve your everyday stress. We'll also make the connection between our faith and wellness. Follow us on Spreaker.com to tune into the show. That's Spreaker, Spreaker.com. And also search MWHY Radio to join me every Friday at 6 a.m. for Fit and Flow Yoga Radio with Sherelle. And until next time, surrender to your strength and always embrace your flow.
Hey, Chef Jovi here of the Eatsperience Radio Show. Join me 10 a.m. every Thursday to explore recipes, best restaurants, and food spots in and around the country. I look forward to receiving your comments, so follow us on Spreaker.com to tune into the show. That's Spreaker.com. And search MWHY Radio to join me every Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Eatsperience Radio Show. And remember to share your Eatsperience.
Are you frustrated, disappointed, discouraged with your life? Are you angry with God? What's holding you back from fulfilling your purpose? Are you struggling as a leader in ministry? Do you believe you have an end-time calling? If you answered yes to any of these questions, tune in to The Waymakers on MWHY Radio Network every other Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are here to support you. Join us to get the answers that will prepare the way of the Lord in your life.
And welcome back. This is Caprice Smith. This is Uncuffed Radio, and you have been getting your tips to being successful and happy. And we're going to continue with our series next week, so be sure to tune in and invite a friend to download and listen. You should be visiting maywehelpyouradio.com. It actually should be on your phone by now. We have an app, and the app makes it so incredibly easy for you to listen in. Before I wind down today's show, I want to give you just 5 quick takeaways about being a woman in business. Understand that you are the woman in charge. It doesn't matter if you don't have a staff of 500 and you're not making $1 million or $50 million a year or every 6 months or every day. It doesn't matter. If that's where you hope to be, carry yourself as such right now. Own who you are. Own it, mean it, live it, and become phenomenal. Become that person that everybody talks about because they're comparing you to someone else in a great way. The biggest compliment I got was when my brother, my younger brother, my only brother actually, told me that when he tells his daughters about strong, empowered women who overcame a lot but still became very successful, he tells them about me. He didn't say Oprah. He didn't say Michelle Obama, 2 of my big heroes. He said me, Caprice Smith. So you could be the hero and not only in your own story, but in everyone else's story as well. And be fearless. God knows you need to be fearless. I have a dear friend and colleague, Cheryl Wood, and she has the Fearless Living. That's her thing. And I totally admire her for it. She's jumped out of a plane. She does conferences. She's just really on top of things. But the biggest thing I love about her is that she just looks fear in the face and says, not today. And I'm encouraging you guys to do the same thing. You have to move through your fear. Do it scared. Because if you do it scared, at least it's done. And keep your eyes right where they belong. focus, streamline, laser focus, tunnel vision. Tunnel vision, from me being a retired cop, is that thing that when all heck is breaking loose and you're very stressful and you're making a decision to take a shot or not, or something really, really stressful, what happens is your heartbeat, you can actually hear your heartbeat. I've experienced this. Your focus and your vision looks like a tunnel, like it's funneled through a tunnel, and you see the thing at the end. Your peripheral vision is still there, but you can't really see it as clear. You can only hear your heartbeat, and you're totally focused on that thing. So you have to get tunnel vision for your business, and then you just have to make the decision to do it, to go get it. I love pouring into women entrepreneurs. You guys make my world go round. I just know that if I had invested in a coach, if I had someone like me in my life, I would have achieved this level of success and happiness years before I actually did. So I'm encouraging you guys to join in every Saturday to Uncuffed Radio. Typically, I would have a guest, but I wanted to take a break and just really talk to you guys and just remind you of the 5 keys in case you have yet to read Uncuffed. And just to let you know that you guys are on the right track. Just keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop. And as always, I'm going to tell you about some upcoming events where you can find me. You can definitely find me at the Playtime is Over conference with Miss Cheryl Wood. And that's in Landover. You can visit CherylWoodEmpowers.com to get more information. Or you can visit me, or I'm just so super excited to be a platinum sponsor of this event. And that's the VIP exclusive fashion show and car show. It's just an exclusive event. The proceeds are going to bless homeless children. And during the holiday season, you guys know how important it feels to be loved and have your basic needs met. And that's what the proceeds from this event is going to be doing. They're going to help improve someone else's life. Other sponsors include Bentley, McLaren, all of these outstanding car owners and car dealers, Gaylord National Harbors, where it's going to be held at the Gaylord National Hotel. And it's a pretty exclusive event. It's a fashion show. If you love fashion, you absolutely must be in this room. And here's a tip. It's December the 6th, end of 2014, December 6th. But here's the thing. Because you are my loyal listener, I want to bless you guys. I want to give you a reward. And if you go to the website, VIP-exclusivefashion.com or VIP-exclusive.org, when you register and you put the code in Uncuffed, UNCUFFED, you get an automatic discount. And I'm notified right away that you're going to be in the room with me. So I get even more excited when I have friends. You know, we're Facebook friends. We're connected. If you're Uncuffed radio listener, then we're like family. You're everything. And 2, I want to bring your attention to Sharper Minds, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And you guys know that is the biggest thing that I'm really just hoping that we are able to limit that 1 in 3 that's anticipated on being bullied, beat down, and just in bad, horrible relationships. And I want you guys to join me. And it's something simple you can do. It doesn't matter where you're calling them from, listening them from. It doesn't matter if you're not in Maryland. You don't have to be, because you can join in this conference call. We are having a host of calls. We call them Conversations That Protect audio series in October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And essentially, we're talking about topics that we're really lasering in on, topics that a lot of people don't have the ability to. We've discovered that even parents don't know how to open a conversation up with their young teens or college-age students. So we want to help you guys. And if you are an adult and you're in a bad relationship, we want to still help you. Because what happens is when you're involved in a bad relationship, you're kind of stuck there. So if you got in that relationship at 21, that's the mental development level that you're probably going to be at for a while, because you're probably not getting a lot of good stuff poured into you. You're being told every day that you're not worthy, you're ugly, you deserve to be mistreated. So we want to combat some of that. Just to give you an idea of some of the topics that we've covered our When Girls Hit First series. We've covered When My Mom Says Love is Abuse. We will be covering I Know He Hits Her, But She Won't Tell. And then we're going to conclude it with My Son Is in an Abusive Relationship, because we know that young men and young girls are also both abused. So if you can't make it every Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, then that's okay. Go to sharpermindsconsultants.org and you can download the recordings directly from the website. We keep them there. They're free. Share with a young person, share with a family member. But it's best to be live on the calls because you get to ask questions. And if you want to remain anonymous, you can go ahead and send emails and your questions in advance through info@sharpermindsconsultants.org. And then if you go over to capricesmith.com, you're going to see a lot of my photographs of Miss Corporate America. And it is the only pageant that shines a spotlight on women in business. That is why I'm so proud to attach myself to it and be the reigning Mrs. Corporate America. So I'm inviting you guys to go with me. I'm going to be crowning a new queen in March in SeaWorld. So I'm taking my entire family. We're going to have fun at SeaWorld. We're going to have some amazing workshops. We're going to enjoy the night. It's the Miss Corporate America pageant, guys. Oh, and we're really looking for super, super awesome teens. We love when they're involved in the community. They have really good grades, but they have a mindset that's going to thrust them forward and make them successful. We want to help not just build their resumes, but open an entire new world for them. When I became Miss Corporate America, all types of opportunities came about. I've been Dr. Oz's assistant. I've been on the Wendy Williams show and her audience. I loved being there. I've traveled throughout the country presenting my signature speech, The 5 Keys to Happiness and Success. And I'm just wanting you guys to experience the same things that I am. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in every Saturday, and I'm inviting you to come back next Saturday. So this is Uncuffed Radio, and I am the Uncuffed Living Expert. Until next time, remember, if you're not living uncuffed, you are just not living. And guess what? Your clients will know.